Welcome to Deep Thought, genetic component to real power. And let me be clear about it. This don't necessarily mean superior genes, because that's relative, or a high IQ, because a high IQ person can quite frankly be born any place. But there's a genetic component to real power. Because you look at real power like this. Who moves the world? Who moves the world? Who decides that the skirts are above the knee or below the knee? Who decides that, men will wear tapered pants or looser pants? Who decides how the money is spent in the currencies? Who decides? Who really moves the world? It's not the celebrities. It's not the celebrities. A lot of people think the celebrities are upper class and all of that, and they are incorrect. The celebrities can come any place. In fact, their class is more shaped by where they were born and how much money they made. Because if you really think about it, they just high-priced employees. Even a few who've managed to make it to a billionaire, they still, one way or the other, an employee. Because for all the things they do, all the money they can make, there's still somebody at a higher level. Now, that being said, perhaps their grandchildren could be a part of real power depending on how the adults spend that money, the older people, the first generation to get into that money thing. But see, there's more of a component to it. And the reason why I say it's genetic, people have to realize one thing. When you talk about the 0.1%, the true 1%, not a bunch of guys who might get on YouTube or something like that and try to say it. Nah, because the true 1%, they even beyond. Maybe one of their grandchildren or like a scion of that family might do a YouTube channel or something. But no, we're talking to people who really get paid, way above. And a lot of those people don't even make it into these magazines talking about the richest billionaires in the world or in the country or whatever. A lot of them don't. Some might, but a lot of them don't. And even when you talk about some of the richest people in the world today, you talk about a Jeff Bezos or a Bill Gates, they're not as self-made as people might think. They came from some money, a little bit of money, not as much as they're making, but they already had something. So always keep that in mind. We don't really see the real power. Real power influences so much. Real power, it decides what news makes it to the people. Real power can even influence how people worship God. That's how deep it is. And why I say it's a genetic component, when you at that level, they don't mate from the neck down. It's not random. It's not random. It's not love either. They mate from the neck up. And that's really to keep money within their circle. See, people don't realize they have a different circle than the rest of us. Now, I know some people will say, well, Rom, you one of them, how you know? I've been around them. And let me be clear, this goes across races. You got a top percentage you don't know about. And they are very clear on how they rate, how they mate, rather. And even on the rating thing, like I'm gonna tell you what, from someone familiar with that group, they have pointed out that even like the very most attractive women are in those upper echelons, like royalty or something like that. There's a reason they look the way they do. Now, every now and then you might have a prince or something that dips down, so to speak. But even then, sometimes if you check the genetics of that person they mated with, you might be surprised who's there, what blood is there. Because they are very clear about that. They are very clear. And they're very clear about how. It's not going, you will be hard pressed to find a situation where a woman who was born into that 0.1% will seriously consider having a child with someone from a lower level. Might be an exception, Jeremy Meeks and that billionaire girl, and it happens, but those are still rare. for the most part, they keep it in the family. They keep it, and they looking at a lot of little things. Like appearance, yeah, they definitely looking at that. But I'm gonna get into it in the next episode about, that appearance thing with different social classes. And it's actually something deep if you think about it. It's something you can easily see too. But when you talk about them, the key thing is they are very clear about who they mate, where they mate. In fact, they even set it up so that their children only interact with children from a similar group. Like, I'll tell you a group on, I'm gonna just say the very outskirts of that top percent, and that's the black upper class. And I ain't talking about recent millionaires or something like that. Because, I saw somebody shared a documentary and they were talking about oh yeah, this the black upper class. And I'm like, no, they ain't. No, they ain't. They newly minted. You talk at that upper level, they make sure their children mate from the get-go. Jack and Jill. And I'm talking just the black upper class. And, they only mate, they only interact with each other in certain places. And it's hard for someone to bust in. And they're at the outskirts, they still at the outskirts of real power. So imagine where you at real power. Because like I said, they thinking, okay, how's the children going to look? How the scion from this family going to look? Who the daughter's actually going to mate with? Pookie and Ray Ray ain't getting none. Pookie and Ray Ray ain't getting none unless, they extremely physically attractive and the daughter is like, rebellious. But even then, when in most cases, 99% of cases, 99.9% of the time, they're going to mate with a certain guy. He got his money and everything. A lot of it's strategic. And no, it's not about love. It's not about love. But it is about the children. And it's about who will inherit. Excuse my faux pas there. Who will inherently inherit. Oh my goodness. I believe that in too. But who will inherit all of, the money and everything from that world. They don't mate by chance, because even they don't mate by chance. And they looking at, okay, what's the family like? What's the education? They looking at pedigrees and everything. And I'm just talking about the money. I'm just talking about the money aspect. We get into royal families, royal bloodlines. Oh yeah, and yeah, that physical component is there, Some good woman who, she could be smart, intelligent, could make her own money. She ain't looking like Miss Universe or something. She ain't getting none. That's how deep it is. That's how deep it is. And keep in mind, they can maintain that. They got access to the best health care. They have access to dentists. Even if a child in that one of those families is born on the spectrum, they have access to the best things to help that child out. So it's like it's a very interesting thing. Because they want to keep power within. See, real power it's really the people. I don't care what the political system is, economic system, spiritual system. Everything is moved by the choices of people. Everything. That's the power. Like I said, it's that real power that decides, are the skirts going to be above the knee or below the knee for women? Or even this beard game. I'm going to be real. Like beard game, that's real popular. Everybody's wearing a beard. But if you get someone in power with the right connections and everything, decide, you know what, I'm kind of tired of seeing these beards. It'll change. Now, some people will say, no, I ain't going to change it. But keep in mind one thing about people. The overwhelming majority of people, are part of a herd. Even some people who think they're smarter and everything. But if you look at a lot of stuff, they following what everyone else is doing. And that's power right there, real influence. Even and speaking of influence, people talk about influencers on social media. Hey, they got 1 million followers, 5 million followers. Someone in power could shut them down easily. Someone in power. There's been recent news of two men in the greater manosphere. I ain't gonna call their names, but getting stripped of their social media presence and a lot of it. So all the followers they got, somebody with real power said, "Up, shutting it down." And I'm gonna tell you what, that real power goes beyond even who people elect as their political representatives. They're just hit men and women for real power. But understand, one of the ways they maintain it is through how they mate, who they mate with. And then they further it still by the type of education, what they trained in. It's a totally different vibe. It's a totally different vibe. Now, even I haven't seen, I've seen close to it. I've seen close to the top, like the lower ends of it. Even interacted with some Scion from different powerful families, some names I could drop. They were actually cool with me. Like some serious names, serious power. Cool people. But their sense of power, because when I interacted with them, I'll just say I interacted with them at American University. Just the way they would talk and how they carry themselves, you'd be like, they totally different. They walk and talk totally different. So it's a real thing. So it's something to think about, but that genetic component, they keep it within the family. They don't mate randomly. They mate from the neck up. They look and they if a guy and one of those powerful families looking at a woman, oh yeah, he'll look at how pretty she is, her body, but he looking, okay, how healthy is she really? What's her mindset? We have babies, how they gonna come out? It's powerful when you really think about it. And you know what, in the next episode, I'm gonna get into some more about that. So anyway, I want y'all to think on that. Get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.